PC. 907 Piper. You can call me Jane. This morning, I'm bringing out my Prestigio. This one is by Lorenzo. This is the Spitfire series. And this is a pipe I don't smoke as much as I should have, but it is a nice one. It fits nice in your hand. The bowl is a little bit narrower. It's a regular sized bowl, I guess. But I really like the partial rustication. And these spots right here. Reminds me of like a bird or something. Yeah. It's a really cool pipe. I bought this in Anchorage actually a couple years ago when we were visiting for Christmas. Me and my dad went to I think it's the only tobacconist really in town. G&P Fine Tobaccos. Give them a shout out. They do ship out of state, but I don't know, I'll check them out. They have some cool in-house blends, but Alaska does have high tobacco prices, so beware of that. And in my pipe, I have a blend that's really it surprised me when I revisited, and I almost can't get enough of it right now. And that is Amphora's Original. You can see kind of a ribbon cut, some broken flake. It looks a lot lighter on camera. It looks a little bit more darker in person, but this blend is got some nice complexity to it. It's got Burley's Dark Fired Virginia, regular Virginia, Turkish, and I want to say Cavendish, maybe not Cavendish, but it's got a slight topping. It's got cocoa flavor. Just enough to really kind of frame the Burleys in their natural cocoa flavor. I'm drinking some French roast this morning. I've been sleeping on this blend. I ordered a pouch almost 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and I smoked it a couple times fresh, and it was a little bit rough around the edges, but I think that was more of the oh, I think there's no pre in here. I just looked this up yesterday, but anyway, I felt a little rough around the edges, especially on the retro hill. Couldn't get any of that cocoa flavoring. But now that I've been smoking Burleys, I can definitely taste it. But this blend is one of the couple blends recently that has Orientals in it that I've been really enjoying. And for a long time I avoided anything with Orientals, mainly because the Englishes that I've had really sour, tangy Oriental blend or leaf. But it's be changing how I view Oriental condiments in blends. And this is also a blend that I've had in a few pipes now, and it's consistently delicious. It does the best in my 320, the extra wide bowl. I like that 320 for my Burleys. It's a king size bowl. Yeah, I showed it to you before, but it's my alligator. Anyway, this one's a standard size bowl. It's pretty narrow, or not narrow, but it feels narrow compared to the 320. I mean, and the depth is pretty standard, so it's a standard bowl. retrohale is where you get most of that cocoa and the burly goodness. But there's enough spice on the regular draw that it gives it some character, gives it some depth. And the Virginias, some dark fires can be kind of strong for me and smoky, and a lot of those blends I had in this pipe. But I thought I'd throw some amphora through this and kind of mellow it up. Anyway. This video is for Morgan over at the Mountaineer Piper, doing an awesome giveaway in time for Christmas. So, if you wanted to know our like craziest Christmas story, or any kind, it could be my favorite Christmas story. Cool gift, stuff like that. Fun gift that you've given or made. There's a bunch of different, Christmases that are fun and nostalgic to remember, but a couple quick stories. I think this one's probably my favorite. So 2 years back, I brought Miss Carrie over to Alaska for a white Christmas, her first white Christmas. I think how Christmas should be, with a lot of crunchy snow already fallen, but a bunch of fresh, wet, heavy snow falling at the time. Makes sense. A nice fire. You can even have a fire outside. Do a fire pit, get bundled up, got some coffee and some spirits, maybe some beer, some nice beer, Christmas porter or stout, and so anyway, so we bought this trip, and it was funny from the beginning. So that was my first year away. After I moved, I was getting really homesick, and apparently, allegedly, Carrie and my sister were working with my parents on getting us over there, and I didn't know, and I started moving money around and pulling strings and looking up tickets and buying, and Carrie got really nervous and called my sister, and then they called my parents, and it was before, right? You guys had to tell me.
Yeah, it was like this time.
Yeah, it was like end of November, and my dad calls, and he was like, "Hey, E," it's like a funny name, like he teases me with. And he was like, "Quit looking up plane tickets." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Yeah, I just got off the phone with Ashley, and she told me that Carrie said you've been looking and trying to buy and plan flights." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I want to come and see you guys." And he was like, "We're bringing you up. We're bringing both of you up, so stop." And I was like, "Oh my god." So that's how it started.
This was in like 2 to 3 months of working.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that, but they were planning since like what, July, September?
Maybe like August?
Yeah, August, September they already started planning. So they had all this worked out, and I was trying to be independent. I was trying to be a providing man of our household and bring us on my own. Anyway, so that's how that trip started. And then when we got there, I planned with my sister. I was like, okay, we're gonna do all this cool, fun stuff when we get to Anchorage. Like, there's a hotel that has every year there's this. I think he's like a Swiss chef, but he does this whole gingerbread city with the little figurines, like those ceramic houses that you find in Walmart, but that with like gingerbread. and some of them move and skate, and it's really really cool. So we're gonna bring her there. We're gonna go take her ice skating. We're gonna try build snowmen, have go snowball fights, sledding, inner tubing, all this cool stuff. Excuse me. And I told my sister, oh, it'll be really cool, I think, if we can go pick our own Christmas tree, cut it down, and bring it in. Because, I thought, that Carrie hasn't done that yet. Like, we're going to go in the Alaskan wilderness, pick a tree that we like, decorate it. And so we ended up staying a lot with my sister on base. And for those of you who don't know, J Bear's Joint Base Ellendorf Richardson, the Navy, or Air Force and Army base is huge. I think it's the biggest in the States. I might be wrong, but it's some of their training areas are bigger than like West Virginia, and Anchorage is right in the middle of kind of all that. So they have this cool program, not program, but if you live on base, there's areas that's just vast wilderness that if you live there, you can go and cut a tree. So we were like, perfect, this is great. So we set up a time. Carrie's all excited, so we get out there, and I don't think it was quite a full moon. No, but it was bright, and there was no clouds. So it was just perfect, like there's white snow everywhere. Well, I guess there's no other color snow. There's snow everywhere, and the moon's out, and the stars are out. We're trying to find northern lights at the same time. It's cold, and Raheem, my sister's husband, has to be Captain America. He was, 22 at the time?
I think so.
And he's running around with no coat on, no gloves.
I don't think he even has shoes on. He had slippers and socks.
Oh my God, that's right. He wears socks and like sandals, I think, like slippers, sandals. I'm like, this fucker's gonna get pneumonia and die while we're out here. But he was stubborn, and he was like, no. I think that was in his head when he goes on these missions. He thinks it's as simple as that, and we're gonna do it quickly. But me and my sister were like, no, this is gonna be an expedition. This is gonna be like a journey. This is gonna be fun. So I think that was his thinking. And we're trudging through the woods. We're going through these trees. It was fun. It was really dark, and there's all these pine trees. And when you walk through, you hit it, and the snow's falling everywhere, and you gotta trudge through the snow. And at the same time, I'm trying not to worry about wolves. Or moose. Bears are hibernating at this point. And then we start thinking about all the ghost and Bigfoot stories. But anyways, we find this tree and we're like, oh, this is a cool tree. This is nice. It's not that big. I think this will be perfect for the house. So we cut down this tree. We haul it over to my sister's car. It's like a little SUV kind of car. So it's not small, but it's not big. I think it's a Hyundai, whatever model, like their CRV. Anyway, we throw it on top, and we're like, oh, this is a little bigger than we thought, because it's like past the front of our car and the back. We're like, nah, it'll be good. So we get home, and my sister was in this, like a 2-story townhouse with vaulted ceilings. And we walk in and we put up the tree, and this tree went almost to the top of the ceiling. Like, you have to walk up the second stairs, and there's a banister. And then it went past that, so we had to go up the stairs to put on the star and drop the lights. And this thing was huge. Like, in my head, I thought it was maybe a 7-foot tree,
Yeah.
and it turned out being probably like a 10-foot tree. Yeah, it was a good size. Oh, and precursor to that too, me and my sister were gonna surprise Carrie with this trip. And we were like cooking or doing something in the kitchen, and my sister's like, oh yeah, after we go to the store we can get ready and then we'll go cut down our tree. And then I like kind of looked at her and I was like, and Carrie was like, we're gonna cut down a tree? And I was like, and my sister was, no, I meant we can, we're gonna, I know. And I looked at her and I was like, damn it, I was like, we were so surprised, we're supposed to surprise you, bring you out on this cool journey, you didn't know where we're going. We'll be out in the woods. It'd be like the Jingle Bells song. But it was a really fun Christmas. So I think that's my favorite story. And real quickly, side note, when we got older, me and my sister, a couple of times we kind of switched roles. Oh, that was a loud whistle, sorry. We switched roles when my parents were sleeping. we got up early, we put out cookies and ate some cookies and bit some carrots and put wax paper on the by the fireplace and put boot marks on it. So we switched roles a couple times and we got to play Santa Claus, which was always really fun. So I remember when we were growing up, that was always the crazy part. Like it was like 110% proof he was real. He is real. We'd wake up and there'd be these boot marks. My mom she'd be like, "Hey, go put wax paper in front of the fireplace." And we're like, "Yeah." And we wake up and he's got boot marks. And then this other time when we were a little bit older, we saw the boot marks and we were a little confused, but he grabbed the champagne bottle. It was like stuck in the chimney, like he was trying to take it with him. And then he he used to leave us notes. Like he would write stuff on these little post-it notes, and we used to crack up laughing because he had really bad handwriting. It was like a kindergartner wrote it. So we were cracking up all the time. And then when we got older, we were talking to my mom, and we brought up the notes, and she started cracking up laughing. She used to write the notes with her left hand, so that's why it looked like that. So yeah, that was so much fun. But those are my Christmas stories, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to hearing your Christmas stories. Yeah, I'm gonna finish smoking this bowl of Amphora, kind of hang out with Miss Carrie, enjoy our Sunday. So smoke something good, and I'll catch you guys later.